This is Immigrant Podcast with Robinson.
Welcome everybody to the Immigrant Podcast with Robinson. Today, I'm excited to have with me Luis Ledesma. Welcome to the show, Luis.
Hello, Robinson. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you for inviting me.
It is a pleasure for me as well. Luis is a very experienced project manager who, I would say a couple of years ago, decided to move to Canada with his family. And the way he did it was through the student program. But I'm going to let Luis talk to you guys about it. Luis, the floor is yours. Take it.
Thank you so much. Yes, like Robinson has said, I'm a project manager, let's say very experienced project manager with more than 10 years working in different industries. Let's say more than 2 years ago, I decided to come to Canada in order to give a better life to my family and in order, of course, to have a better life for me and my wife as well. So in that moment, I decided to, let's say, to come as a student, to take the student program, because it was the best one for, in my case, my age, let's say, didn't allow me to take another immigration program. So this was the best for me in this case.
What are the steps that you went through? What are the steps that are available out there for people to go through the student program? Because as you said, if you're in certain age, let's remember that Canada is looking for younger people. So if you're in a certain age or group, you might not apply for certain programs. So as a student, what are the steps that you went through? And I know it changes a lot, but they're probably almost the same even today.
Yes, first of all, talking about that, let's say, high-level idea of it. First, we have to ask is, what could be the best approach or the best program you could take? This is why I highly recommend to talk to a lawyer, and let's say an immigration lawyer that could guide you through this initial step where he will help you to decide what is the best program for you according to your age, the amount of money you have, let's say, your family structure, your education. So those things will finally let you know exactly which or what is the best program to take. What is the best program according to your situation, to your whole situation. So I decided to come as a student because my age didn't allow me to come as a, for example, to use the express entry one. Also, I had a very good education, including a master's degree, but my age didn't allow me. So the first step was hiring a lawyer, assessing my possibility in each program. After that, I completed, let's say, a template where I put all my information regarding family, regarding my financial situation at that moment, my education as well, my wife education, and all those things. Based on that, he told me, okay, student is the best one for you. So in this case, the money is really important. How much money you have to go to Canada is a very important aspect of this kind of endeavor. Once I have all this information, I started the process. I started to try to find the educational institution where I was going to study. I decided what I'm going to study. If I want to go through, let's say in my case, through a project management diploma or a bachelor, I find an institution with that diploma or that what I want to study. Then I applied for it. I sent all the documentation they asked me. I got their approval. And finally, when I had the approval, using this approval, I applied in that moment for in the case of Quebec, in this specific case, after I got the university approval, I applied for the Quebec approval, CAQ. That is the approval from Quebec. So once I got the Quebec approval, I applied then for the visa. There is the, let's say, the federal approval to come to Canada. So it's like, there's like three main steps. The first one, to get the university and to get the approval from the university to come to study there. With that approval, you apply for the Quebec approval. And once you have Quebec approval, you apply for the federal one. There is the last one, and it's like the visa that will allow you to come to Canada to study. So let's say at a glance, these are the three big steps so far.
Very good, very good. So we went through your advice to first talk to a lawyer and then follow these three steps. What are some of the colleges, some of the institutions here in Quebec, because we're here, that would allow you to start the process? I know you went to Montreal College. I know a lot of people go to CART. Are there any others that you went through that you researched when you were in your process?
There's a lot, although I don't know so much of them. But for example, you mentioned the CART, Montreal College of Education, Montreal College of Information Technology. That is the one I went to. I have TAP College, that is TAV College. There are, of course, and universities as well.
Correct.
Yes, we have McGill, we have Concordia. There's a lot.
Because
yes,
the program needs to have a specific number of hours for you to be able to qualify, correct?
Yes, that's important. It's important you have at least 1,800 hours in order to qualify for it. And you have to verify something really important. You have to verify that this institution belongs to it's included in a list of institutions that are approved by the government. Really important. You can find this information and others in Canada.ca. It's important to find this institution, the one you are trying to apply, in this list to make sure that they are approved by the government, by Quebec government, in the case of if you're coming to Quebec, of course.
Very good. What are the pieces of advice that you have for those that are still thinking about it or those that are going to start this process?
In the case of if you are starting this process, first, you have to talk to your family. You have to, let's say everybody should come aboard of this process, should feel that they really want to do it. Your wife, of course, your kids, let's say that are your core family, make sure they want and they can, let's say, they are ready for this. After that, you have to evaluate if you are in a good moment, in the right moment to undertake this endeavor. You need to evaluate your finance. You need to evaluate your physical and mental health. And you may say, why physical and mental health? Because if you are sick, if you have something that maybe will hold you back to do this great stress, so don't do it at that moment. Wait a better moment to do this. And for example, your mental health. Are you ready to go to a new country? Are you ready to go through a lot of new things? Let's say to go to a country to start from scratch again? To be maybe 3, 4, 5 months without a job? So this is why you have to evaluate your financial, let's say your financial healthy. Let's say, can I, let's say, be there for a year without work? Because this is something that could happen. And let's say that change is the only constant. For example, in this case, we had COVID. I came during COVID. When I got here, 3, 4 months after I got here, COVID started. So it was hard for me at the beginning and for my family.
Right.
And something else I recommend is to talk with friends that has undertaken this kind of project before. So they can tell you and give you some advices in order to how you can support and how you will be able to manage all these new things you will be through.
And are there any groups that you were a part of when you were in your process?
Yes, there are some groups. But There are a lot of groups. So for example, there is one called Rumbo Canada. Although I know there's a lawyer there that it's always willing to help, and she's a consultant as well. There are some groups here in Quebec, students group including, that could help. And you have some ideas. You can ask questions even before you get to Canada, and they could let's say guide you and give you some advices.
Very good, Luis. To me, this is kind of a very important question. Again, you've been here for almost 2 years. Has it been worth it?
Yes, I can tell you yes. First of all, because Luis Ledesma is not the same one as 2 years ago. Now I know a new culture. I have a new language. Yes, now je peux parler français un peu. I'm able to speak French and to understand some French. It's good. I have a lot of knowledge here about how things work, how these, let's say, first world country works and how things are done here. This is something that will be always with me. Even if I have to go back to my country, even if this doesn't work at the end and I decide to move to my country again, this is something that's really worth it. Because if you think it's worth it, I think you should do it. And that's what me and my family did.
Very good. And I can also tell you, because we had never really done this, that your English is a lot better than 2 years ago as well.
Thank you.
So that's very good. That's very good. And something that we normally do in the podcast is, since we interview people from all over the world, we want those participating in the podcast to send a message to those who speak their mother tongue, just to motivate them in their own language. So in your case, it is Spanish. So reach out to that Spanish community out there, Latin America, Dominican Republic, and all the other Spanish-speaking countries in the world.
Yes, of course. Why not? Mi recomendación es, no tengan miedo. Evalúen su momento, evalúen el contexto. Todo proyecto tiene un contexto, tiene recursos, tiene momentos que uno debe evaluar y decir, quiero emprender esto. Deja de evaluar los recursos, deja de evaluar cómo está mi familia con respecto a esto, mi situación actual, y no tener miedo. Cuando yo venía para acá, me acuerdo como ahora, gracias por la pregunta, encontré una frase y incluso la dibujé con mis hijos, la hice con mis hijos en la pared, que decía, si tus sueños no te dan miedo, es porque no son lo suficientemente grandes.
Wow.
Entonces, todo lo grande, todo lo bueno, cuesta. Entonces, es normal tener miedo.
Good.
Lo que no debes es permitir que ese miedo te paralice. Entonces, emprendan, evalúen el contexto, evalúen el momento y háganlo, que vale la pena. Y cuando estén ya en el medio del proyecto, ya avanzando, viendo y vean esas vicisitudes, esos problemas, recuerden por qué lo hice, por qué vine y por qué estoy aquí. Y sigan adelante, que vale la pena.
Gracias, Luis. Gracias. Excelente consejo. And that's exactly right. Like, keep your focus. Why are you doing this? That's the main point. And if you keep it in your mind, you'll never divert from it. Luis, where could people reach out to you through social media? I know you're very active on LinkedIn.
Yes.
Any other social media that you kind of engage into or that you participate a lot in?
Yes, sometimes I use Facebook. Even I'm not a big fan of posting photos and those things, but I really try to, let's say, to be on Facebook, to post something regarding regarding my professional endeavors. But usually I use more LinkedIn.
What is your LinkedIn?
My LinkedIn is Luis R. Ledesma. You will find me there.
Very good. Very good. Perfect, Luis. Thank you very much for being with us today. I wish you all the best and we'll stay in touch.
Thank you so much. Something else I want to say is discipline. You have to train yourself. You have to, in the day by day, you need to get good habits, that this habit will create this discipline for you to get anything you want. Doesn't matter what the field is or what is it about. Discipline is everything.
That is correct. That is correct. And I agree with that 100%. Thanks for saying that. Thank you, Luis. Until next time.
Thank you, Robertson. Have a great day. I really appreciate you have invited me here.
It is a pleasure. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
This was Immigrant Podcast with Robinson.